All right.
You sound like all those MCs when we're young. All right.
Welcome.
Is she the winner?
Royal Rumble.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Sabi podcast.
Welcome to this episode. Is going to be lighthearted. We've done too many deep stuff. I'm tired. It's
really
not
lighthearted.
exactly lighthearted.
Don't forget, guys, if you'd like to ask us questions, check the episode notes as well as our social media pages for a form that you can fill out with your question, and we'll definitely answer you.
And the handles are at Sabi podcast, Twitter, Instagram. Search for it on YouTube. Ask us. No question is too weird to ask us. Keep those questions coming, and we'll keep answering them.
Speaking of weird and funny questions, Chyddee said this episode is lighter there. I don't know about that. Anyway, here is the question. SwitOpe and Chyddee. Love the work you guys are doing with the podcast. I'm a huge fan. Oh, thank you. My question is simple. Are ghosts real? Sometimes I feel like I see things that aren't there, or people that have been pronounced dead. Lately, I've been seeing my late mother in my dreams. Oh, wow. Am I crazy? I beg, Ep. So much for light episode.
Sorry, I made a mistake. It's not light. It's heavy. It's heavy. As soon as I read that, I'm seeing my mother part. It just became heavy. So if you see me laugh, because I like to laugh, if you see me laughing, it's not to disrespect anybody. It's not to invalidate what you're saying. It's just, I like to laugh because it's like a coping mechanism for me. I'm not damaged, I promise.
Okay.
Why are you laughing? Are you damaged?
Do you believe ghosts are real? I want your honest opinion.
So here's the thing, yeah. I was born a Christian.
Yeah.
I wasn't exactly born a Christian, but I grew up a Christian.
Okay.
We believe in God.
Yeah.
I've not seen God, but we believe in God. So my answer to that, growing up now, I've seen a few things, I've interrogated a few things, I've asked questions, I've asked myself questions, I've done research, and I am kind of leaning towards being an agnostic person right now. So what that basically means is, if you ask me if I believe ghosts are real, I have not seen, I have not experienced, I have not witnessed. Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah. And my position is, it is possible it is real. It is possible it's all bullshit. It's possible that this person that asks this question is seeing things, hallucinating and all that. It's also possible that they're actually seeing ghosts for real. So my position is somewhere in the middle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Personally, I do believe ghosts are real. I don't think anybody can just randomly, except the person is chasing clout or something, but I don't think anybody can, randomly see things that they cannot explain and joke around with it.
But there's a medical condition that could cause that.
Hallucinations, all of that, yes, that's understandable, but how do you know if you're hallucinating, and how do you know if you're seeing ghosts?
I guess a doctor.
So a doctor will tell you that, this thing you saw you are just hallucinating. It's not ghost. So why do you think? You grew up in you are a Christian. Yeah. I'm a Christian as well. I grew up in MFM. Okay. We heard things. Yeah. Yeah. The firebrand. Why do you think people are going for deliverance? So if they say, they saw something they did. Yeah. I don't think all of that was. Some people
But the reason I'll question that, or I'll push back a bit on that, is that there was a time when people used to go for deliverance for things that are medically proven to just medical illnesses.
I understand that.
Right? And then they will fire them prayer, they will flog them, take them to select church or take them to the beach and flog them with broom, trying to take away something that a doctor could have just taken care of. Okay. Right? So which is why my position is generally, maybe it is real. Maybe it's not. But before you conclude on the realness, first of all, see if you're not actually seeing things that medicine can sort. Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever seen any strange thing that you can't explain?
No, I haven't. A few days ago,
in your
I was
59 years of existence.
Yes.
Oh wow.
Not 59, please. 53.
Sorry.
Don't add 6 years to my age.
Sorry.
So in all my years here, I don't think I've not seen anything that remotely looks like
strange,
something from the other world. I haven't seen. Sometimes when I was much younger, I used to have sleep paralysis. Oh, wow. Yeah, like you'd sleep and then they say just shout Jesus, and you
Yeah.
shout as a Christian. That's what
wake
you
up,
know,
yeah.
and then you wake up. But then if I had shouted Satan, I will still wake up.
Hey, how do you know you still wake up?
You still wake up. No. You still wake up because your body, the moment your brain is able to connect with your mouth and you're able to, it means you've woken up enough to be conscious, right? So if you read about sleep paralysis and everything, you'd find out that it's actually a thing. A medical is something that science can explain, right? But in those days, it felt like a spiritual attack. My folks used to call it spiritual attack. You didn't pray before you sleep, or you did something, or demons are coming to attack you. And then before you know it, they're taking you to church for deliverance and stuff.
So do you think now, this brings me to ask, do you think there is a medical term for strange things or things we don't understand or supernatural things?
I don't know. Maybe hallucination.
Because now, hallucination, you've given sleep paralysis.
Psychosis, hallucination. What's that one? I've forgotten the name. That condition where you believe you're something you're not, and because of that condition, you now see things you're not supposed to see things that do not exist.
Anyway, a few months ago, I put out a tweet asking people to share stories if they've ever seen ghosts.
Oh yeah.
And I will compile some of the top answers. This one says, "Hi, SwitOpe. There is this my uncle that really loved and took care of me. I was 11 when he died in 2011. Now, while alive, he hated it when I slept on the couch in the sitting room. A few months after his burial, I always felt someone tapping me to wake me up each time I slept off on the couch. One night, I was deeply asleep in the sitting room, and I was feeling intense heat and sweat. Then all of a sudden, my body started cooling down. It was too sweet. I got to a point that I was fully awake. Lo and behold, I saw someone in a black suit fanning me. I opened my eyes fully to make sure that they were not deceiving me. And actually, they were not. He was standing there, fanning me slowly. I got scared. I screamed and I ran inside my room. He just walked away as if going to the dining room. Truth is, he watched over me a lot while I slept. I still miss him. Now,
Crazy, man.
how do you describe this? Would you say this person is hallucinating or this person just does not know what he or she will say?
I don't have enough to be. I don't have enough.
Because personally, I think
this
this is too vivid to be hallucination.
I mean, if the person is saying the truth, then it did happen to them. Again, I would not, if you ask me to put my money on it happening or not, I will not put my money on it. But I cannot invalidate this person's experience. It could be anything. It could be hallucination. It could be. Have you ever have you ever had a deja vu feeling?
All
they are
the
so
time.
vivid.
Personally, I don't think it's deja vu. I say it myself that
I've lived these moments.
Before.
So they are so vivid.
Before. Nobody should tell me deja vu anything.
Yeah, they are so vivid that if somebody tells you it's not true, you won't believe it.
You won't. Yes.
Yeah. So it's a possibility that she saw things. It's also a possibility. There's a slight chance that it's also a ghost that did it.
Yep.
So I wasn't there. I didn't experience it. Yeah. So I really can't say whether it's true or false. But I don't think the person is lying. Right. Okay. I think they actually experienced this. Yeah.
Second story. Hello, Okpe. I saw your tweet about the ghosting, and I don't know if this counts. Years back, I just finished secondary school or so. My mom sent me to buy something in the next street. I had this street friend whose mom sat with traders just by their house fence under a tree. She would normally call you to greet you no matter your age, but that day she was just sitting and I greeted her, but she didn't respond. I just thought she didn't hear me. Coming back from the errand, there were people gathered, and when I asked him, he said his mom passed at night. I saw her just minutes ago. And when I told him, he smiled and said she just wanted to let me know. Now, these are people's experiences.
I've heard similar stories like this.
Yeah?
Yeah. I've actually heard similar stories like this. And they are too real to not have happened.
Exactly.
They are too...
Exactly.
The craziest one... Okay, so this one is a random... This one is even a random. She just saw. The woman did not answer. I've heard stories where this person actually told them things that there was no other way they would have known. Like, there's no other way they would have known these things. So, it's deep. Again, like I said, I'm leaning towards being an agnosticism and all that. But I know that outside the visual things, outside the world, the physical world that we're in, there's also a world that exists that we do not see. Right? So yeah, that's probably where all those ghosts are. That's where all those, the God factor is, all that. Yeah, I think they actually do exist.
Even me personally, I have a personal experience. Now for this one, these people are sure they saw whoever they saw in real life. But I can still argue that my own was not real life. My own was, dreams. Really vivid dreams. I think the second or third week after my mom passed, I would have these dreams that would seem so real. See us in the compound, packing clothes together, how we used to do when she was alive, just packing clothes in the compound, folding them, and just talking and talking and talking. And then I will wake up and, tell people, the pastors will come and say, oh, no, she's, it's like she has not crossed over fully, or, she just wants to take you with her, or, things like that. So for me to experience and see those things, there's some sort of truth in what these people are saying. At least me, I know that my own was a dream.
At least I can. So it's different from those ones that actually saw it for real. Yeah.
Because I would wake up and I would just start crying that I wanted it to be so real. I wanted it to be real so bad, and I would know if it was real. Do you understand? Like if I had woken up from the dream, maybe in a trance or something. Yes, that's another word people would, medically.
Trance,
a trance. I would know if I was outside the compound and really packing clothes and having the conversation, but it was a dream. And it was really, really vivid. So I actually think that these stories, these experiences are real.
There's some credence to them. There's a level of truth to them. Again, I wish science had gotten to a point where it's able to validate or invalidate these things. If you check, I mean, there are people called Ghostbusters. It's like a thing. Where they basically go around and try to, when people say there's a house that is haunted and they go there and they eventually find out that, or they eventually do not see anything. I wish it's been proven that these things actually exist. It will just lead to rest all these conversations about it being real or being fake, or somebody sees they saw something and they just immediately think they're going crazy or something. I just wish it shouldn't be that hard. It shouldn't. If you guys are out there, show a sign. I mean, aside ghosts that that we're talking about and everything, have you ever heard of
other unexplained,
other inexplicable phenomenons? Like I know. There's one in Yoruba land, Akudaya.
That just
where somebody basically just comes back to life from the dead, or something like that.
Exactly. We actually spoke to two people about the concept of Akudaya.
Okay.
Now, the first person we spoke to is Tunde Leye, an author, entrepreneur, and filmmaker with knowledge of Yoruba history.
Yeah, I know Tunde.
We also have Bolanle Taiwo, a Yoruba researcher and TV presenter. So first, let's play a clip from Tunde where he explains the concept of Akudaya in the Yoruba culture.
To describe it, it means somebody that died and stopped by somewhere else, or to use Nigerian parlance, somebody that died and branched somewhere. And how it's described is a person has a full life in a place, in a town. Everybody knows that person. Person is probably married, has children, has a full family, has a life, career, and everything. And then that person dies. Everybody in town knows that they died. They are even buried with full burial rites and everything. People know where they are buried. But for some reason, they feel like they died prematurely. They died before their time. And so their spirit goes to another town where nobody knows that person. Nobody knows that that person has died, and takes up a body that looks exactly like that person. And in fact, gets married, has children, takes up a job, essentially has a full second life.
This one deep as ghost too. I mean, ghost
we even gave a vague, explanation.
So ghosts are like small glimpses and all that. They could come to you in a dream. You could see them. These ones actually die and then come back and live full life somewhere else.
So how do you even explain that? Is it people they didn't bury, or people like? It just confuses me. Is it people they didn't bury, or people that, were buried and they are not settled in the grave? When people say, oh, your mother will be turning in her grave for what you have done. Maybe they should not stand up.
In even the grave, they kafanchan, they live new life as a bad bitch. The craziest. I'm sorry.
Well, I don't fear.
I'm sorry. I'm just imagining myself encountering somebody like that. Like, how would I, like...
You know, I hear stories. I still saw one, in fact, last week. I think it was on Twitter. They said one woman used to sell food at a place, and then someone came and saw her. Next thing, both she and the sellers and the her staff, they disappeared. How?
I saw that thing.
And then they took a picture of the shop. The shop was closed down.
Abandoned, basically.
Abandoned. Now imagine you've been eating there. That's where you're taking. That's where you're buying your food every day before you go to work.
I will take the warp. I will take medicine. Like, I'll pot for like 15 days.
And then people, when you now ask people like that, they will tell you, I saw this woman now. All of a sudden, we don't know where she's again. We don't know where her staff is again.
Sometimes you want to rationally explain this. Like when I actually saw that tweet, I thought maybe this person is a fraudster, and then somebody saw them and saw them. So
people actually see them disappear.
And I don't.
Or they'll just be pandemonium.
But to be honest, I saw the pictures, and that picture looks like they left in a hurry. If you want to close down your shop, you move your things. You move your things. If you want to relocate, you will move your things. If you are closing but that place just looked like it was open and then it was closed.
Wow.
Things they happen, Sha. Things they happen. I guess one day would have an explanation for all these things.
Actually, Akudeya stories are quite popular. Actually, a Twitter user also responded to my tweet with an Akudeya story. Hello, Okwe. I saw your post in relation to Akudeya and I felt like sharing one or two. The first account I'll be sharing is that of my mom. Part A, that's the mom's account. A family brother of mine staying in the village had an accident in 2019. His bike collided with an oncoming trailer and he was crushed to death. Jeez. His name was Kazim and his father's name was Akala. Months later, my mom boarded the bus in Lagos. The conductor was looking exactly like Kazim, who died. The interesting part of it was that the conductor's name was Akala. That's the father's name. When he got to my mom's turn to pay, he didn't collect the money. She was trying to thank him amid surprise, but the guy kept looking elsewhere. The moment they got to the final stop and my mom thought she would get to see him, he was out of sight. She went there the next day to inquire about the guy, and the driver said he called off work after the earliest day's ride for no reason. Now, that part B, the mom's elder sister's account. Now, my mom's elder sister saw the same guy later at a mechanic shop at Ladipo. Again, his name was Akala. She approached him, calling him by his actual name, Kazim. But the guy went violent with her, claiming he was not Kazim and that he had never met her before. The same cut he had on his neck when he was younger was still there. The same tribal marks. The clothes he had on when he had died. When she insisted on knowing him, people had to beg her to leave. No one knew his whereabouts after that day. It was said that he left workplace without saying goodbye.
Did they see the body?
Which body?
After the truck crushed him, did they see the body? Because it's also possible. It's also possible that he decided to cut ties. Again, this is a ration. Cut ties with the family and just go somewhere else. Sometimes people do that. They just want to start a new life somewhere
else.
Right? So they just fake their death. I mean, there's recently a story about some babe on Instagram who basically went around looking for somebody that looked like her and then eventually killed that person. Wow. Yes. Killed that person to fake her death so she can run away with her boyfriend. This happened like 2 weeks ago. Wow. Yeah, so it is also possible that he tried to fake his death. It's also possible that he became mentally unstable and then, and some people have amnesia. Again, science will interrogate these things from different angles.
A trailer accident. This is not.
So if they did not see the body and they did not prove, even if they saw body itself,
the trailer crushed him to death. Clearly,
so it could be somebody else.
Tragic.
It could have been somebody else. It could be anything.
So how do you explain the same tribal marks then? The same mark on his
Which
neck?
is why I'm saying, so maybe somebody else died and then he's still the one. Yeah.
And then why is he denying his name?
Because you can't wake somebody up who's pretending to be asleep. He obviously knows that. Hey! He obviously knows that he's the one, and then he's refusing to, own up to it.
Okay, that's your thoughts.
I mean, it's a possible. I'm just giving possible scenarios, but it's also possible that it's Akudaya.
Yeah. Personally, I think it's Akudaya because if mother sees it, mother sister too sees it. You know, if it's only one person, you can now say, oh, this person is, But another person is seeing this same person coming back with the same story. Well, a different story. I mean, she saw him in a different place. So, I think it's Akuda.
Still in the transport business.
Yes.
Okada to conductor to mechanic.
Exactly.
Same person.
So are ghosts different from Akudaya? Now, Tunde, our guest, who has knowledge of Yoruba history, talks about why ghosts are not the same as Akudaya. So ghosts are not actually the same as Akudaya.
It's a different phenomenon. Yeah.
All right, let's listen.
Akudaya is different. It's different in terms of, first, the person takes up a physical form. And then the person goes to a place where nobody knows them. So they are not attached to the original place where they used to live or died in. And then they start a full life. They have children. They work. They earn money. They provide for their family. They eat. They do everything as if, it was their first life.
So he said they don't go to the same
places.
Yeah. Now, it would take me back to this, right?
Mm-hmm.
To this story.
Yeah.
This guy was in the village. And this accident happened where? Let me see. Yeah. The accident, the mom saw him in Lagos.
Mm-hmm. So it's a different place.
So it's a different place.
So it follows the pattern of the regular Akudaya story.
Yeah. The mother did not see him in the village. Yeah. The mother saw him in Lagos at a mechanic shop, as a conductor rather. Yeah.
And then somebody else saw him as a mechanic in Ladipo.
Exactly.
So a different, it's the typical Akudaya story.
Okay, so ghosts are spirits attached to places they used to live. Now they're generally disturbed and can't settle. Akudaya, on the other hand, settle in new places and take on new lives.
So they are two very, very different.
They're two very different people. Different things, rather.
Yeah.
All right, so this just brings me to ask if, I think it was you that asked if we know the first ever recorded story of Akudaya.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Now we have a second virtual guest, Bolanle, the Yoruba researcher, talks about how nobody is sure when the first Akudaya story popped up because it's been lost in history.
Yeah.
All right, let's give it a listen.
Our history is documented through oral storytelling from one generation to another. And when it's documented through oral storytelling, it is limited. Not like in this era that we have internet. And when we just post, the record is there and everything. We don't know.
I wish we did better with record keeping.
I know, right?
This is where some, I won't say some races, I'll say some countries. Yeah, this is where some countries did better than us. They kept history better.
Yeah.
It should have made sense if the first phenomenon, it was recorded, and then there's like stories. It will help for research, it will help for studies, it will help for investigations. Yeah, it will help to verify if this is actually true or if people are just seeing things or something. Yeah, I wish we just did better.
Because now nobody can say, this is the first person
that
to ever see.
Yeah.
Exactly.
What is just fact is that it's not new. It's been happening for quite a while.
Yeah.
Our parents' generations probably experienced it in one way or the other, and we're experiencing it as well. Religious, Christians, Muslims, who believe in a being that they've not seen, will come and look down on somebody who believes in ghosts. Bruh, look at the mirror, fam. Except you're an atheist and you don't believe in anything, you're in no position to deride or laugh at, mock somebody who believes in something like ghosts, demons, angels, Akudaya, or God. Please, you can't.
All right. So there are other ghost-like stories, but we can't touch on, a lot of other ones because of time. But we have a few concepts, a few lists. Yeah. A few lists. Is that English correct?
I don't know.
A few lists. Of course, where spirits exist. So genes.
Oh yeah.
JINN.
I think that's is it Asian or Arab?
I don't know.
I think it's yeah.
Okay, so genes are shape-shifting spirits who live in the world just as humans do. We can't see them, but they can see us. Hey.
Like, there could be genes in this room right now. I see one behind there.
Chineke. There's also Abiku. Oh, I know about Abiku.
Yeah.
Yeah, Abiku is a child who dies but is
Comes
reborn
back.
many
Ogbanje
times
in
into
Igbo.
the family. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Ogbanje, yeah.
In the family.
That's what we call them.
So,
Like it's so weird that some of them will come with the marks that
Same
they
mark.
like it's weird. It's weird as fuck.
oh, wow.
There's also reincarnation. That's also a phenomenon. I know people will say they came back as their grandfather. They came back as their
their grandmother. I know.
Yeah. Some people will come and talk about things that happened in the past that they was no way they could have known about. It is weird. Like there was one thread I saw on Twitter. I wish I could find that thread again, where people were talking about the weirdest things their children did.
Yes.
I was like, man, children say the darnest thing.
It was-
bruh.
It was getting
It's
too
crazy,
scary.
yeah.
All right. So final thoughts.
Are ghosts real? Are could die as real? Bruh, you see again, yeah, like all things that we cannot physically see, like all things that we've not experienced, let's be open-minded about the possibility of it being real and the possibility of it being bullshit. Let's all
So you are in the middle.
just again, yeah, until you experience it, you
Yeah.
really can't say until somebody you know is not crazy. You know for sure it's not crazy and you trust experiences it. You really cannot say it's real or it's not real. But in your disbelief, if that's your position, give grace to other people. Respect other people. Because bruh, at the end of the day, you know to Sabi.
You know, to Sabi. All right. So for me, like Bolanle said, just respect anybody that comes to say, as long as you know in your heart of heart that this person is probably not lying. Maybe if you know them personally and they come and tell you, oh, I experienced this, and it's strange to you. You see, they say people condemn what they don't understand.
Yep.
But in this case, please don't condemn. Just understand that this is what they've experienced, and it might have taken a whole lot for them to even come out to say, because you know, someone coming out to say I saw a ghost, the person is not expecting
not hard
people
it
to
is.
clap
Yeah.
for them.
Yeah.
So it was probably really hard for them to even come out in the first place to say they saw something you consider strange. So yes, please, let's respect people's lived experiences.
Yes.
And with that, we have come to the end of this very scary episode.
Please, if
Blood
you're
of
a
Jesus,
ghost,
blood
don't
of
come
Jesus,
to
blood
me.
of Jesus. Let me say blood of Jesus 7 times. Thank you guys so much for listening to today's episode. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at I2Sabi Podcast.
Make sure that you subscribe to podcast streaming platforms, Apple, Spotify, Google Podcasts. Make sure you subscribe and listen.
All right. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel as well at I2Sabi Podcast.
Rate, review, share. Rate, review, share. When you rate and you review or bumped up, and then when you share, other people are able to see some of the amazing content that we create. So
Thank you guys so much for joining us on today's episode. We'll see you on the next episode.
Yeah, we'll see you.
High five.